So, how are you? In my last video, I really did not know that our president would give his war declaration on all the but I knew it was coming. I felt it intuitively. I knew there was something wrong. I made the video, I believe on Wednesday, and I think on that same day is when he announced his mandates. I don't know if I can freely speak on this video. If it gets too off, I will just put it on BitChute, I guess. But maybe I can put it on YouTube. That speech, I listened to it later on, and it was nothing but war propaganda. War propaganda against the terrible, very, very terrible when a president goes against, I don't know, is it a fourth or more of his own people? The people that he promised to not protect, but protect their rights. Okay? Protect their rights. I was extremely shocked, and for some reason, of course, I knew it was coming. That's why I made my last video. Because it seems like I can't feel these things coming, these dark and evil things coming, and that was definitely an evil thing, and it was a declaration of persecution. Of course, you know what? A lot of people don't understand that at the end, the beast is not going against necessarily Christians only. We can see it very clearly, people, okay? That this persecution is going against anybody that has not taken the needle. Anybody that has not taken the needle. Regardless. Now, I would think if somebody took the needle and it's effective, they shouldn't have to worry about anybody else. Okay? But that's not the case. We're being made responsible for the people that even got the needle. I don't understand it. It does not get in my brain. Maybe that is something that our president has to work on, because he said he doesn't understand why people are still not getting the needle. He seems to be confused. Well, it's because in my brain, things don't add up. Things just don't add up, people. There's too many lies. Really, too many lies. Again, now how does that sound? I mean, somebody has they're protected. Why are they worried about somebody else who is not protected? I talked to my mother today, and she was trying to kind of help me understand, but she says, well, but we can still get it and still get sick. Yeah, but you're not getting very sick, right? And I said, but you're also a spreader, aren't you? That's what our research is saying. Everybody's a spreader. So just because you have this doesn't mean you're not a spreader. But it seems like all privileges are taken away from the ones that didn't get this, even though we have the better immunity. And that's why a lot of people are not getting this, because they have an excellent immunity. Why in the world would they get something that destroys their immunity? Now, I know I'm saying something that some people, these fact checkers, will definitely run around and prove that that's not true. That's not true. You make sure what's true. Okay? You make sure what's true. That's what I'm saying. If I'm saying something wrong, I'm expecting my viewers to check things out. We are responsible. Okay? We are responsible. The problem is when somebody is taking our right away, our right to choose away. Oh no, it's not about choice, is it? It's not about choice. The United States is not about choice anymore. When did that change? I came to this country because of choice, because of freedom, because of liberty. Give me liberty or give me death. Come on. Has nobody learned that in school? Is that something we have totally forgot? Oh no, wait a minute. In a situation of a pandemic, it's okay to give up your liberty. It's okay to run after a tyrant in those times. Well, then guess what? First I have to have one, and I have to have one proven. Okay? There's no proof for me. All the numbers they're showing us are false. We know it. We know that they're false. Okay, and I don't care what people say. I want to see facts. Okay, I don't see facts. I want these fact checkers to show me clearly, prove to me clearly that these numbers that they're showing of, these V-death, right? V-death, if they're really caused by the V. Or what are they really caused by? We don't know. There is no statistics that really can tell us right now because they are so muddled. Okay? All our statistics are muddled. Especially when it comes to death caused by this strange thing. Okay? Again, does it even exist? Have they isolated it? There's questions that I have, and I'd like to have them answered. So if the fact checkers are listening in, maybe they can send me some of these answers. Instead of just saying, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. I'd like to have the answers. Okay? I'd like to have the answers for sure. See, these people want to find out our president. They have been really crazily going about finding out why these people don't want to take this one. And he's saying, well, it's approved. Shouldn't people run now? It's approved. Wow. How in the world did they approve it? After 6 months or whatever? Or what, half a year? Or maybe 9 months? Does he really think we're so stupid? Does he even know how long it takes for some new medicine to be approved? Unbelievable. That's supposed to be our president. Isn't he supposed to know? What are they telling him? Is he living in a bubble? Does he know reality? Don't know. Don't know what to say. But it doesn't matter. For Christians, it doesn't matter, does it? Whether it's approved, whether there are even side effects or whatever, okay? For Christians, you cannot block out all the Christians. Even if the Catholic Church says, hey, we approve, you need to get the shot, or any other denomination comes out and says, hey, we're agreeing to it, that does not make it biblical. Okay? So what is he going to do? Misinterpret the Bible? So we don't have to follow? Oh, they already do that, I think. They already do that. I have plenty of people that quote to me, what is it, Romans 12? Let me look it up. I think it's is it Romans 12 that they are quoting. Maybe it's not Romans 12, it's Romans 8. One of them, they're quoting that we're supposed to submit to authorities. I don't see it right now, but you can look it up. Okay, I know they're bringing this. Let me hold on to my. Yep, found it. So it says in 13, Romans 13, let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whosoever rebels against authority is rebelling against God, against what God has instituted. And those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and you will be commended. For the one in authority is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for rulers do not bear the sword for no reason. They are God's servants, agents of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also as a matter of conscience. Wow. And he continues there. This is also why you pay taxes, for the authorities are God's servants who give their full time to governing. I'm sorry. I'm going to throw up here. Give to everyone whatever you owe them. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. If respect, then respect. If honor, then honor. Now, oh my goodness, people, no. I don't know if Paul wrote this. I will disagree with Paul. Okay. If he really wrote this, I will disagree with him. He's wrong. He's absolutely wrong. This is not Paul's writing, because even Paul did not submit to authorities all the time, or else he would have not been killed. Okay? He would have not been in prison if he would have bowed down to authorities. He was constantly persecuted. Okay? By officials. And you know what? Paul's early life was really persecuting people, the Christians who did not obey to the authorities. So Paul himself knew it firsthand, and he did it himself. No, Paul didn't bow down to authorities. That's why this does not sound like Paul at all. Now, do I not understand what he's writing? I mean, he's writing, and Jesus said the same thing. Give to Caesar what's Caesar's, and give to God what's God. He's talking about taxes, and Paul is talking about taxes, give Caesar the taxes. But he is actually saying that they are put there by God. And you know very well that that is not true. Okay? That most of these governance that we're having, these politicians are not put there by God. At least not my Creator. Okay? We know that this whole system, this beast system is put in place by Satan. And everybody who works in the beast system bows down to Satan. Really, I'm sorry. Even those that seem to say, oh yeah, this and that. Remember, we have two sides. We have one side that we think is the bad side, and then we have a controlled opposition. And they're both working for the same side. I believe at this point there is no opposite sides anymore. They are both working for the same, very same. Okay? Whether they know it or not. And no, it is not true. It says, consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. God has not instituted. Now, I don't know what authority he was talking about. Okay? It says governing authorities. No. God has not instituted our governing authorities. Allows them. He allows them. But what does he also say in Revelation? That he's going to destroy them. Okay? They will be destroyed very soon. So why in the world does Paul say this? Why in the world does he say this? Do we understand what he's saying? Do we really again have to bring together other sources that show very clearly that what is really saying it and how people interpret it's wrong? It says authorities are God's servants. Authorities are God's. You really think Biden is God's servant? Really? Or Fauci? Can't even say the name because my video will be taken down. Really? Do you really think so? No. Do you think a president that declares war on a fourth of his people is put in there by God? I doubt it very seriously. Very seriously. Do you think the people, the deep state behind our government that we're seeing, whether they are senators or Republicans or Democrats, do you really think they're put there by God and they're actually serving God? Who does believe these kinds of things? Oh, the Bible says it, so it has to be true, of course, right? And we have to really interpret the way we want it. We don't have to really look deeper into it and think, wait a minute, what is he writing here? It does not make sense at all. You know, sometimes Paul does not make sense. Is it because we just don't see the whole story? But it is so obvious that Paul did not go along with the authorities all the time. He didn't go along when he was converted, and accepted Jesus and then was a follower of Jesus. He didn't follow the authorities anymore. He didn't follow the Pharisees, the Sadducees, or any authorities. Yeah, he followed to a certain extent as far as was possible and as far as it went along with Christian principles. Christian principles, people. But no, God has given us free will. Okay? Free will. And I understand what he's saying here. That they are put in place to keep balance. So the criminals would not get away with murder or stealing or whatever. And that's okay. I can believe that one. Okay? They're there to keep things okay. And as long as they keep things okay and they respect the laws of God, then yes, I can bow to them and I can submit to them. There is no problem. But if they do not anymore, which is happening today, then I have to say no. Okay? And that's called civil disobedience. That's what our founding fathers put in place because they believed that every human being has the right to freedom, liberty, and making their own choices. Okay, making their own choices. No, I don't want to harm somebody else. No. We need to be respectful towards others, always. Okay? Always, but not feeding into their paranoia. And you know what I mean by that, right? Just because somebody is paranoid does not mean it's not healthy for that person when you're feeding into that. Paranoia is a false fear. And it is dangerous to feed into that and let other people believe that there's actually something real there. That's what's happening today. That's what this speech by our president did. It enforced the fear in people. It enforced the fear even of the un-people. Okay? And it also supported these people or the people that got the little prick, for them to be hateful towards the people that didn't get it. Yeah, it actually justified their anger. Yeah, our president didn't uphold the Constitution. That's exactly what his job is, to uphold the Constitution. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom even of choice. You don't have to be part of a minority. Okay, that's what a lot of people say today. Oh, if you have a religious exemption or a medical exemption, then you are exempt. What about the other people's rights to choose? When are Americans waking up? When are they waking up? When has it happened that Americans went to sleep? Well, of course, if Christians read something like this and it has been jammed down their throat so hard they cannot even think anymore, yes, I believe it. Okay? I don't know how it got there. 2,000 years of rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. Now, God will make sure that his word is preserved. But I also know there's many mistakes in the translations or even in the writings. I have seen this kind of stuff before, which, things that don't make sense. And I will bring it out. I will tell you, hey, wait a minute, there is something wrong here. Something wrong. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense what Paul experienced and how Paul actually acted. He was not a wimp. He didn't just go along the government, the government. People, the government, the Roman government during Paul's time was not put there by God. Yes, the government is put there by God to keep the criminals in line. But we shouldn't be criminals. We're going by God's commandments and laws. So we should not be criminals. And that's, in a sense, what he's saying here. You don't have to be afraid. If you're not a criminal, you don't have to be afraid. If you're doing things right, you don't have to be afraid. It's what he is saying, and it makes sense. Okay? It says, but if you do wrong, be afraid, for rulers do not beat the sword for no reason. First thing is okay. First thing is okay. It says, but if you wrong, be afraid, for rulers do not, and not, then he says, for rulers do not beat the sword for no reason. People, really, we have history, 2,000-year history, written history. And you really think every ruler is not beating the sword for the wrong reason? How many people were killed during the wars for the wrong reason, during the Holocaust for the wrong reason, during the French Revolution, during the Russian Revolution. Do you know how many people died during the Russian Revolution for wrong causes? What in the heck is Paul talking about here? I mean, I cannot imagine Paul is that dumb. He wasn't. He was a pretty open and educated person. Why would somebody write this? Again, I really don't know. Okay? I don't know. Now it says, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For whosoever loves others has fulfilled the law. Okay, the commandments, you shall not commit adultery. See, and here it goes to the commandments. If we're following these commandments, love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. Okay? We don't want to do harm to a neighbor. I don't want to do harm. If I don't get this, doesn't mean I want to do harm to my neighbor. I don't. Okay? They have a free will right now to get this. That means why would I do something to them? I don't even have this right here. Okay? Why would I do harm? Now, if I get this, and I'm not talking about a false test result, which we have in all the time today. Okay? The false test result, people. Yeah, all false. I'm sure half of them is false. And if half of them are false, the whole thing is false. Okay? No, I'm not talking about test results. Because the test does not show if somebody is sick. The founder of the test is saying that. I can find for you an interview. Okay? Where he says that. Mullen. Okay? Who created the test? He said it. No, it's not for telling somebody if they're sick. For diagnosing, that's the word. It's not for diagnosing. Okay? You don't have, and I know that is also false information if we're saying that if you don't have what do you call them? Symptoms, that you're not sick. False information. No, it is true information. If you don't have any symptoms, how can you spread them? Well, because there's a little there. What? But you don't have the viral load. Okay? Shh. I'm sorry, but this is so obvious things. These are obvious things, people. Okay? Obvious research that people just totally don't want to hear. They haven't heard it. Whatever it is, I don't know. Okay? And they're not telling you. And they're scaring you. No. If I don't sneeze in your face, I don't cough in your face, I don't spit in your face, I'm not a threat to you. Okay? I'm not a threat to you. Even if I wear this, it doesn't do any good if I don't spit in your face, cough in your face, sneeze in your face. Don't talk to me. Then I don't have to talk back. It's another thing where how it could possibly, spread a little bit. And they're saying, oh, there's vapor. It's like, pfft. First, you still have need to have a viral load. There's not that big of a viral load in vapor when you're not even sick. If I don't have symptoms, I'm not sick. If I don't have a fever, I'm not sick. Sore throat, whatever all the little things you have. You're not sick. But again, people don't believe that. People don't believe it. But again, Everybody can choose what they want to believe. Everybody. And that is exactly what this country is about. And this is also what God is about. Okay? That's the bottom line. It's the bottom line. That God gave us freedom. God wants us to choose. And the government knows that. Whoever is behind the government, if you go up the pyramid, right, who's up there? Satan knows it. Satan knows he cannot force us. Well, he can force us. He can manipulate us. He can, coerce us, and he can do all kinds of things. But he cannot literally force us. He cannot literally hold us down and give us this. He knows it. Of course, the government knows it. So what are they doing? They're putting pressure on us. They're putting major pressure on us. And that is exactly what is happening, okay, with this mark of the beast. We're in the middle of it, people. Because at first he's going to make an image to the beast. And we have to bow down to the image of the beast. And that's what's happening today. We are bowing down to the image of the beast. Is this the image of the beast? This needle? Is that the image of the beast that we're bowing down to? Because our president is saying, oh, he's going to keep everybody safe. He's going to make sure everybody is taking this and is bowing down to it. Everybody. Remember, people, I said, when you get the mark, it's too late. Because you already bowed down. You will have to bow down first before you get the mark. The mark is only proof that you did already bow down. Okay? That is the whole thing. So are you going to bow down? Because that's what you're reading right here in Romans 13. Oh yeah, sure. This is exactly what Romans 13. Oh, it's the Bible. It says it. Do you know anything about Paul? And how he died? Do you? He didn't bow down to the emperor. That's why he died. That's why. So you telling me I have to bow down to the emperor? People, you need to wake up. We are bowing down right now. People are starting to bow down. And the pressure is getting harder. Okay? The pressure is going to get harder and harder. And they want you to bow down to the system. And do you know what? And I can say that, whoever fact checkers, put it out there. The reason why we, the Christians, the true believers, cannot take this, because we can't bow down to the government, governing authorities. That's why. Okay? That's why. Not because we cannot take the mark. No, because we cannot bow down to the governing authorities. President, governor, whoever it is, health agencies. We cannot bow down to them. If they are against what we believe, and what we believe is that God has given us a free choice. He wants us to be responsible. He wants us to be healthy. He wants us to keep our body healthy. Okay? He has given us a natural immune system. Okay? He has. And we can't just turn around and say, no, God, that is all false. Cannot turn around. You know, I don't understand it. 6,000 years. This immune system was just totally fine for us. And all of a sudden, somebody wants to come and say, no, that's not good enough anymore. Yes, people get sick. But they get sick because they are not taking care of themselves. Look at everything that is going wrong in our world today. We're not eating right. We're eating constantly processed food. Our food is sprayed with chemicals, and our air is sprayed with chemicals. I mean, what else do you want? We're putting people under severe stress constantly. Should I continue all the things that we're doing why we're not healthy? We're not healthy because of, very important, we're not using natural remedies. Okay? We're using a lot of poisonous remedies for years now. How many years did we have cancer research? Cancer research. Have they found anything yet? No, they cannot tell you, oh, why don't you just eat healthier and maybe you don't get cancer. Or at least the chance that you get cancer is lower. Or, hey, let's clean up our air. Let's, breathe fresh air instead of this kind of air. Come on, people, you really going to keep your immune system up like this? There's so many things wrong, and that's why we cannot go along. We cannot bow down to a system that made us sick. They made us sick so they can give us more of the poison. And they don't care about the kids. They don't care about the kids. Because they don't care how many people they kill. How many people have they killed? Or, how many people have they killed through cancer? Or they're just not dying fast enough. Oh my goodness, how many people have they used as guinea pigs? First they make them sick, and then they use them as guinea pigs and pump them full of chemotherapy. Oh, you don't hear very much anymore today, do you? About cancer and how terrible it is, and how much more money they want for cancer research. Well, all of a sudden, cancer is not an important thing anymore. But I'm coming to an end right now. People wake up, think about Romans 13. I know you can believe what you want, but put things together. Put things together, okay? And see really clearly what's going on. The way you interpret 13, is that really what Paul meant to say? Is that really what Paul meant to say? I don't think so. Or even, I don't know. I mean, there's things in there that make it sound like it could come from Paul. But then there's things in there that totally doesn't make sense and doesn't seem like Paul actually wrote them. So, if they're confusing, I don't have to understand them. I'll drop them. I'll let it go. Okay? I'll let it go because I know the system is not from God. That's why. And don't bow down to it. Well, you can bow down to it if that's what you choose. Because see, again, God chose. Okay? God said you have a choice. You have a choice to bow down to the system. You have a choice to bow down to Satan. You have a choice to do whatever you want. But don't complain afterwards. Don't complain afterwards when you end up someplace where you don't want to end up. Let the Holy Spirit guide you always.